Hello students. In last class we were discussing about the chapter name the theory of firm under the perfect computation, right? It was the fourth chapter. So in that we started to discuss about concepts of revenue. So already we discussed about perfect competitive market situation where there are a large number of buyers and sellers selling homogeneous product at a uniform price, right? So after that we started to discuss about concepts of revenue. Revenue means the money received by the firm from the sale of a given quantity of a commodity. The money received by a firm from the sale of given quantity of a commodity, that is called as revenue. So under the revenue we have to study three concepts. One is total revenue, second one is average revenue, third one is marginal revenue. So already we discussed about the concept of total revenue. The total amount received by the firm, from the sale of given quantity of a commodity. The total amount received by a firm from the sale of given quantity of a commodity, that is called only total revenue. The total revenue, the formula is total revenue is equal to price into quantity. Okay, so about that in last class we discussed. Now we are going to study second important concept of revenue, that is average revenue. Okay, so already we discussed about the total revenue. What is the meaning of total revenue? The total amount received by the firm, from the sale of a given quantity of commodity, that is called only total revenue. Okay, now the second important concept, that is average revenue. What is the meaning of average revenue? So it is the amount received by a firm per unit sold. Simple. It is the amount of revenue. Which one? It is the amount of revenue per unit sold. Simple. The meaning of average revenue, its name only, it is the average per unit. It is the amount of revenue per unit sold. Which is the average revenue is the amount of revenue per unit sold. In other words, we can say like that. So average revenue is defined as total revenue. Average revenue is defined as the total revenue. Average revenue is defined as the total revenue per unit of output. Okay, this is, we can call it average revenue. Average revenue is nothing but it is the amount of revenue per unit sold. When we are selling each unit, how much we are getting? So this was total amount. By selling all the commodities, how much we are getting, that is total revenue. But this is each commodity. By selling each commodity, how much we are earning, that is called only average revenue. See, average revenue is defined as the total revenue per unit of output. Understanding? So this was completely how much we are selling, overall goods produced by the firm, how much we are selling. So from that how much we are getting, that is called only total revenue. So this is amount of revenue per unit sold, per unit of output. Okay, the firm received the revenue received by the firm from the sale of each commodity per unit of output, per unit sold, that is called only average revenue. Okay, to calculate the average revenue there is a formula, that is TR is equal to TR divided by Q. TR means total revenue, Q means quantity. So for that we can understand the example. For example, Total revenue is 20,000. Total revenue is 20,000 and quantity 100. In previous example, like in the total revenue we discussed about that. If we sell the 200 like 100 bulbs, if we sell that 100 bulbs, each bulb price how much? 200. From that the total revenue was, say, PR is equal to P into Q. So quantity sold like how much? Price is 200 into quantity is 100. Okay, the total revenue is 20,000. Right? Right? Okay, here we have to discuss the total revenue how much? 20,000. Quantity Q, that is how much? Quantity is 100. Quantity is 100. Now what is the answer? That is average revenue per each commodity rupees 200. Rupees 200. Are you understanding? The total revenue is just imagination. Total revenue is 20,000 by selling 100 bulbs. By selling 100 bulbs, each price of the commodity that is 200. That is 200. By selling this, how much we are getting? That is 20,000. By selling this, we are getting 20,000. Here, total revenue is 20,000 and quantity how much we sold? That is 100. So now we can get the average revenue. Per unit sold how much? 200. You have to understand, you have to consider here. Here, the average revenue should be equals to the price. Here you have to understand, average revenue equals to the price. That is very important. So here is equal to TR by Q. For example, total revenue is 20,000, quantity sold how much? How many? That is 100. So the answer, which one? The average revenue is 200 because per unit sold is 200. Per unit sold is 200. You have to understand here, for a price taking firm, because in the perfect competitive market, firms are price takers, not price makers. Why? Because there are large number of sellers and buyers. Okay. All the sellers are selling homogeneous product at uniform price. Without changing the price, they are selling goods and services. That's why in this market, in the perfect competitive market, price should be equals to average revenue. For a price taking firm, average revenue equals to the market price. Don't forget, average revenue equals to the market price. So price also same, average revenue also same. So here each bulb is 200. Now revenue is 200. Are understanding? That is, price should be equals to the average revenue. How much you are fixing the price, that much only you are getting the revenue. So in the perfect competitive market, all the firms are price takers, not price makers. Why? Because all are selling homogeneous product. There are large number of sellers and also buyers, and they are selling at homogeneous, like at uniform price. All are selling homogeneous product. Homogeneous means no changes. All are same. Color, shape, like price, quantity, quality, taste, packing, design, everything. All are same. Like all the aspects are same only. So that's why that is called as homogeneous, and they are selling at like uniform price, no changes in the price. That's why in this perfect competitive market, firms are price takers, not price makers. Okay, so you have to understand here, for a price taking firm, ER equals to the market price, average revenue equals to the market price. Okay, here average revenue also same, price also same. Okay, to understand this, we have to observe a diagram. See students, we are discussing about average revenue. So average revenue is nothing but the amount of revenue per unit sold. How much we are getting, the firm is how much is earning, that is called only average revenue. In other words, average revenue is defined as the total revenue per unit of output. The total revenue per unit of output sold. Okay, per unit of output, per unit. Right? This is not all. If you sell all the goods and services, from that what we are earning, that is called as total revenue. But it is per unit sold. So already we understood the formula, that is average revenue equals to the total revenue divided by quantity of sold. Total revenue divided by quantity of sold, right? So another one, we identified that in this perfect commodity market, all the firms are price takers, not price makers. Okay, so when they are price takers, that time average revenue should be equals to the market price. Average revenue should be equals to the market price. Okay, very important sentence. Average revenue should equals to the market price. Average revenue equals to the market price. Okay. So that one we can explain with the help of diagram. So this diagram you can observe here. On the OX axis we measure the output. On the OX axis we measure the output. On the OY axis we measure the price. So here another horizontal line is there, that is price line. That is price line. So here output measured on OX axis and price measured on OY axis. Here this price line shows that for different values of output, are understanding, for different values, not different output, for different values of output, the market price is same. In previous class only explained, in the perfect commodity market, price is constant because all are selling at uniform price. That means there is no change in the price. Even we observe the table also, right? The table here, boxes sold, here total revenue, right? 0, 0, 1, 10, 2, 20, 3, 30, right? We observed that one only. Here in the perfect commodity market, price is constant. Why? Because firms are price takers. Okay, the firm has no power to, each and every firm has no power to fix the price. Okay, no power to fix the price because all the firms are price takers. So you have to observe here, on the OX axis we measure the output, on the OY axis we measure the price, and this is price line. P is a price, here fixed for different levels of output, for different levels of output or different values of output, the price should be fixed. There is no change in the prices. And also we obtain a horizontal straight line, that is called only price line. Okay, horizontal straight line. So here this horizontal straight line cuts the y-axis. You can observe here, horizontal straight line cuts the y-axis. Okay, that is equals to the P. So the height is equals to the P. That means whatever changes in the values of output, values not output level, values of output, price should be fixed. Okay, if the boxes sold, that is increased from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Okay, when it is increasing, revenue also increasing, but price it's constant only. Price is constant here. So when the price line, this horizontal straight line cuts the y-axis, that's why it is called only price line. It is called only price line. This horizontal straight line is called as price line. Okay, this price line shows the relationship between the market price and firm's output level. This horizontal price line or horizontal straight line shows the relationship between firm's output and market price. So here the vertical height of the price line, see, this is the vertical height. The vertical height of the price line, that is equals to the market price. So this is a vertical line. Okay, this is equals to the market price, right? And the price line also shows the demand curve of a firm. Demand curve of a firm is how much demand is there, how much demand availability for your product in the market. It explained by the price line. That is also called as demand curve. Don't forget, price line also called as demand curve. it is also equals to the average revenue. It's very important. In the perfect competitive market, price line that is equals to the demand curve. Demand, that means it shows the demand level, okay, for your product in the market, and also it should be equals to the average revenue. Why? Because in the perfect competitive market, firms are price takers, not price makers. Okay. Anyhow, the demand curve in the perfect competitive market perfectly elastic. In the perfect competitive market, the demand curve is perfectly elastic. So this means your firm can sell as many units of a good, any much amount of goods and services they can sell, but without changing the price. In this market, in the perfect competitive market, a firm can sell as many units of the goods as it wants at the same price. They can sell any number of goods and services. In the perfect competitive market, a firm can sell as many it wants, as many units of goods as it wants, to sell at a perfect price. Perfect price means that is constant price. Here, whatever changes in the output level, there is no changes in the price. Price should be constant. They can sell any number of goods and services at market price. In the perfect competitive market, a firm can sell as much as how much they are expecting. That is, as many goods they can sell. The firm can sell as many goods or as many units of good it wants. As many units of good as it wants at uniform price. Uniform price means same price. Don't forget about that one. This is called only average revenue. Average revenue is nothing but the revenue received by the firm. Per unit sold. Otherwise, it is the amount of revenue. Per unit sold. It is defined as the total revenue per unit of output sold. That is called only average revenue. To calculate the average revenue, there is a formula. AR is equal to TR divided by Q. Total revenue divided by Q. Here, average revenue should equals to the price. Because price also same, average revenue also same. In the perfect competitive market, there are large number of buyers and sellers selling homogeneous product at uniform price. That's why all the firms are price takers. That's why we can say like that average revenue should always equals to the market price. Don't forget. Okay, this is the horizontal straight line. It is also called as price line. It shows the firm's output level and market price level. Okay, firm's output and market price. Which one? This shows horizontal straight line is also called as price line. Here, price line should be equals to the demand curve. Demand curve equals to the average revenue. That is, price should be equals to demand curve and also average revenue. Okay, this is the average revenue. Right?